What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Walking Manifestator. I'm your host, Alexa Peña, and for those of you that have been following along with the series, you are appreciated in ways that I cannot describe with words. Thank you so much for coming back and investing in the biggest asset we have, which is yourself. And for those of you that are new to the channel, just to kind of let you guys know what we talk about in this podcast is really geared around self-improvement, self-worth, self-development, self-love, everything that's going to help you really manifest and create the life that you desire by understanding yourself. So with that being said, today's episode, I wanted to take a moment to talk about my experience out in Peru and tie it into this whole paradox that we live in, which is really living in autopilot. So yesterday actually was my birthday. I gave my 28th lap around the sun. And to be quite honest with you, something that I really wanted to share about this experience in Peru was that is something that is so big in our life, creating these stories in our mind and living these stories out to really manifest into the reality that we create. And what I mean by this is I was surrounded by amazing people. I met friends from Spain, from California, from places in Mexico, and something that I just really took in was, number one, something that I've known for a long time, which I'm sure you do too. We all have a story, right? No matter how great, and I'm doing little air quotes right now for those of you that are listening on Spotify or Apple, but we have these stories, right? That sometimes, no matter how great our life might appear from somebody that's looking from the outside looking in, and then what's really happening are two different stories, right? And something I really noticed is a lot of the people that were out there trying to just find enlightenment, find answers. It was actually quite interesting how many of us continue to chase something that we have within us. So we've talked about it in the past, right? Who you are constantly thinking of in terms of yourself, the things that you're constantly consuming, the things that you're constantly focusing on, that is what you energetically become. So if you're somebody that is very prone to watching things that are not necessarily conducive to your mental health, you're more than likely going to be more unstable than somebody that maybe is doing a little bit more of the work, right? Meaning, what are they consuming? The music that they're putting into their body, the food that they're taking in, all of these things. And the reason I found that interesting was because we have these ideas of what we presume to be enlightenment. And I was talking to this person and he was telling me like enlightenment is like this chase for this like void, because in reality, you never really reach enlightenment. And that's really just a characteristic from the ego, if you think about it. And it is so true, because most of us, when we're in this path of enlightenment, we're chasing the wrong thing. These people that in history, Jesus Christ, Buddha, I mean, there's so many role models that we could really try and understand. They weren't searching for enlightenment. They were just trying to become the best version of themselves. And through that process, they obtained new insights. And even themselves, they never saw it as enlightenment. They just saw it as a way of being. So something that really caught my attention was there were so many people that just kept telling themselves the same story. They understood a lot about energy. They understood a lot about how important it is to, surround yourself around the right people and make sure that you're consuming the right things in your life. But even after knowing all of this, they were still recreating the same story over and over again. One person was still haunted by the fact that their parent, left, and another person was, still bothered by the fact that they were in very hard situations when they were younger. I mean, there's a list of people that have these stories, and it really resonated with me because, to be quite honest with you, these past couple of weeks, things just felt like I needed a refresher of how thankful and how blessed I really should understand that I am by the simple fact that I'm existing, by the simple fact that I'm breathing, by the simple fact that I get to walk. And when I was out there and listening, it didn't come from a place of judgment. It actually allowed me to see myself in a different light, which was you're not appreciating what you currently have because you're so consumed on trying to get to that next level, whatever that level might be. This is why I say that when we're in this path of self-development, I don't like to call it enlightenment. I don't like to call it, trying to ascend into a higher vibration, as a lot of, teachers out there will try and say. The reality is that we should just be focused on trying to understand what we have forgotten. And if you think about it, one of the teachers that I was with out there, he said, today's my birthday. And we're all like, oh, congratulations, that's so great. And then he like keeps talking, and then he's like, every day is my birthday. And it was just something that was really a nice reminder of the perspective that we can choose to adopt. Are we going to be constantly bombarded by our own thoughts, thinking about everything that we don't have? Therefore, we don't appreciate what we do have. And if we understand the law of vibration, we understand the law of attraction, we understand that we cannot attract something that we're not in harmony to. Something that has really stuck with me is it's not about really learning how to do something. It's about forgetting what we've been conditioned to think. Because when you were little, if you thought you wanted to be an astronaut, like there was nobody that could take you away from believing that, unless you had that rude person that shattered your dreams at a young age. And honestly, it was just them sharing with you what they thought at that time was relevant to share because somebody shattered their dream, and that little domino effect kind of goes on and on. But assuming that nobody shattered your dreams, you were somebody that had these ideas of something that nowadays you don't even dare to think are possible. But the reality is that when you think you can't do something, you are already setting a block around that idea. Therefore, how can you expect to manifest that something? And for me, in this experience out there, man, I just met some beautiful people, beautiful places. I got to go to the Inca Empire out in Machu Picchu. I got to go to Ollantaytambo. I got to go to Pisac. I mean, there's just so many beautiful places. And every reminder that I kept just telling myself when I was there, it was like, sometimes we are so consumed by this like higher version of ourselves. I had this like this moment of insight where I was like, the person that I as a child looked up to is the person that I currently am. And it was just a very insightful, and I hope that you can apply this to your life, which is why I'm sharing the story with you. But I just had this moment where I saw the little me, the little version of me, and then I saw who I am now. And that little me was looking up to this version of who I am now as like, wow, like the things that you've done, we didn't even believe possible. So you are my higher self. And you should think about that next time. Next time you're beating yourself up, next time you're on autopilot about why you can't attract that next business opportunity, or why you can't leave your miserable job, or why you can't take a self-care night for yourself, or why you can't attract the right people in your life. Just remind yourself of how much you've come, and where you're at now is nowhere where you were at one point in your life. No matter how hard things get, I think it's important to remind ourselves of that, because sometimes our brain, our psyche is very clever at keeping these same paradigms in our mindset. And the only way that we really choose to evolve and grow is by letting go of that story. I kept hearing some people say like, oh, I'm just broken, you can't fix what I have. And sometimes like it was like a joke, but low key it wasn't a joke, right? It's the paradigm. It's what they see themselves as. Your words are casting spells. The words that you are saying to yourself, what's the first thing you think of in the morning? Is it, oh my God, I'm going to be late, everything is happening, and I just can never, catch a break? Or are you waking up and looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, man, you look great today, even if your hair looks all crazy and you haven't even brushed your teeth, right? I do that. I have it in my mirror. I have it in a red lipstick. I say, I love you, and you are worthy. And I look at myself and I tell myself those words. And I kid you not, every single time that I do that, my energy, my endorphin levels just kind of like boost. And I feel this like gratitude for myself. And yesterday, as I was mentioning to you guys, was my 28th birthday. And I just had this sense of appreciation for life. And I just had this like moment where I was like, man, like these past couple of months have been hard, guys. Like there's been a lot of stuff that I've gone through that sometimes I laugh because I say the people that smile the best and the greatest, they're really good at, you could say hiding, but I don't really like to see it as hiding. I kind of like to see it as like not giving energy to something that doesn't need your energy. So we're really good at putting our best foot forward, our best face to ensure that we could really attract the vibration that we want to be in. And man, yesterday was just that moment where I was like, we just need to continue to change the story that we tell ourselves, because this version that we are now is the version that we could have only hoped to be when we were younger. So with that being said, I just want you to remind yourself of how amazing you are. And this is for wherever you are in your journey. No matter if right now you feel like you're going through a rough patch or you feel like you're in the best place of your life. Reminding yourself constantly and setting those boundaries for what you're willing to choose to accept in your life and what you're not willing to choose to accept in your life is really going to be that milestone that's going to help you in manifesting everything you want. So something that you should make sure that you're always implementing is that talk. What are you telling yourself? If you're not hearing what you want to hear from other people, tell it to yourself. Take a time to really be yourself. I'm picking up a new lesson. I'm gonna actually start learning how to play the handpan. I'm super excited about that because since I was little, I used to like to play with I'm sure we all did it, with like the Tupperware, right? And I would just like bang it and like pretend I was like playing the drums. And this is like a new activity that's really gonna allow me to be in my child self, in my child version. And we need that. We need more of that so that we can really start deconstructing all of these ideas that we've created around, oh, I'm an adult. I should behave like an adult and I should have no fun and I should have no time for myself. Or if I don't do it now, I'm just never going to get to wherever I need to be. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy where you are. Because I promise you at one point in life, you're going to look back and say, man, those were the good times. So enjoy the good times that you already have in front of you. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode here. If there's anything in particular you guys would like to talk about, please leave us a comment down below or send us an email. And as a little announcement, we are going to be having a live event that is going to be geared around helping you embody more of the manifestation teachings that we've been talking about. I'll set all the links, all the details down below. If you're interested in this free workshop, feel free to join us. I would love to see some of you guys there. And as always, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I will talk to you guys on the next one.